Started. So with a split, guys, we work from the bottom up. And so let's just go ahead and we're going to grab our bead cone, and I'm going to get a piece of craft wire. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loop so that we can make our tassel. And let me pull you down a little bit, guys, here. And so you can see just exactly what I'm doing here on our tassel. Okay, so what I'll do for the tassel, guys, is I'll go down about, I don't know, about that much. So it's, maybe, I don't know, an inch, inch and a half. Okay? I'm going to put my wire about halfway down actually a little bit more, about 3/4 or so down my barrel on my round nose. I'm going to make my right bend, and then I'm going to pull my wire up and over and around my plier, pivot my plier away, press it back down, take that small piece of wire, push it to the back. And now we have our L with the loop. Okay? Now, the reason, and I'm going to actually go in there and push it down a little more. The reason I'm going so far down on my chain nose on the barrel here is because I have 10 pieces of chain. And I need to make sure that all of my chain is going to fit within my loop. Okay? And so we've got that. We're going to just open up our loop. And now we're just going to go ahead, and you can do this however you want, but I'm just going to randomly feed the last link of that chain, of each piece of my chain. I'm just going to randomly feed it right down that small wire. And then it'll all drop right here in the loop. Bead cone. And so there we go. So I just randomly put all my chain on. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll grab a pair of chain nose, and I'm going to close that wire. Now right here, real important, guys, you want to make sure all your chain is just like this in your wire. Some of them will try to go rogue up over here when you're trying to close up your loop. So do make sure that all of your chain is down here in your loop. And then we're going to just go ahead and put our pliers over that loop. And then we're going to wrap this wire just around a couple times. We don't care if it's messy or what it looks like. The only reason we're doing this is literally to hold our chain in place within the tassel, because this is all going to get hidden in the tassel, inside the cone, rather. And we just want to make sure that our tassel is forever secure, and our chain is not going to fall off. That's all this is right here. So I don't really care if it's messy or not. I'll snip that off. Not even worried about tucking it in. And that's what I have. Okay, now if I put it upside down, do my double check, none of my chain is coming out of that loop. And then I can go ahead and take and straighten that out a little bit more. And just like that. And now we're just going to feed that on the bead cone, and then put our accent bead above the bead cone, which is our cool pink bead. And that is what we have. And we'll tuck that burr in, and our tassel is done. I'll go in with my round nose and work hard my wire. That also, I just go tap, tap, tap. It also helps to kind of center your loop. Pallet. We're not doing too much stringing here, so I'm just gonna cut about that much. Okay, so now I have my wire. Next step, guys, is we're gonna go ahead and let's just feed our tassel right on that wire. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the ends of our wire together, and we're going to put that focal bead on. And this is our split technique. And we feed that down both wires. We're going to pull that down, keeping both wires flush at the top best we can. And we're going to pull this down as far as we can get it, to where it's pretty much, as you can see there, can you see that there? It's pretty much just about touching that loop, and you almost don't even see any wire at all. Okay, and so now that I have that focal bead on, and I see where my wire wants to go naturally. Okay, let's see. Now this is where I will normally go in and then move my loop again. But we can also do that at the end. Okay, so this is what we've got. And then now we just do some simple stringing, guys. So we'll just string one side at a time. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put on a crimp. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go around with my tail. And now this is where I'm going to be intentional about, I'm going to put that through the bead cap and that olive green bead. And I'm going to be very intentional about how much loop I am leaving here. Because this loop, and let me pull you down so you can really see what I'm doing. This loop, we're going to wire wrap to our focal. Okay? So we're going to be mindful of that. So I'm just pulling this tail down, and I'm probably going to grab my round nose and put my round nose inside that loop there. As I pull my tail without getting my crimp cut in my bead cap. Which it's wanting to. I should have probably threw a shot glass bead or something there, but that's okay. And now I'm going to double check down here that I'm nice and flush. And I am. Everything looks good right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and just continue to pull this tail until my loop is the desired size. And I don't need that big of a loop. So about like that. And then I'm going to grab my crimper. And we'll flush cut that. And that's pretty much a split technique, guys. I'll keep you down on the mat for a second here so you can see that. That is a split technique. Really, really cool. And that's what I have on my ends. Very tiny little loop. Okay, so now let me pull you back up and let's go ahead and do some wire wrapping here on our little our crystals. Not little, they're certainly not little. So I'll just grab about, I don't know, 5-inch or so piece of wire. 4 or 5 inches. Maybe about 4 inches. You don't really need much, but I always like to have more than less. And again, I'm using 24 gauge. And this is silver and tarnish resistant as well. So we're going to wire wrap these directly to that. And then the other side, we're going to wire wrap to the chain. So we don't have to use any jump rings or any wire guardians to attach this additional component, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll go about right there. Do our right bend, pull that forward, move our tool, got our L. We're going to open that loop. We're going to take that, we are going to put it through our wire and let that wire go ahead and drop in our loop. Hence, we don't need that big of a loop. And we'll grab our chain nose now. We'll put our chain nose right over that loop. And I'll go ahead and wrap that around. And again, I'm going to try to do my best to do clean wraps. Maybe just a couple here. Well, maybe maybe I'm going to do, actually, let me do kind of a bit of a messy wrap. That might actually look kind of cool. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, changed my mind. We did a messy wrap. Cut that and tuck that in. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. I actually think I like the messy wrap there. Kind of a vibe. It's kind of a vibe. Okay, now I'm going to put my 9.5mm crystal on there. And we do the same thing we just did, but we're going to add the chain this time. And so again, just put it right on top of your bead. We'll do our right angle, pull it around, and notice how I have it pretty close to the edge of my tool, because we don't need a big loop. And then we'll go ahead and open that loop, and now we'll feed a piece of the chain on. Drop it in that loop, just like we did on the tassel. Now I'll hold my loop, and then I'll go ahead and try to match up the messy wrap to the bottom. Just making sure I'm filling up that gap there. Pretty cool. And that's what we have, guys. Everything is all wire wrapped and attached. You need to, move your stuff around. You can certainly do that. It's just wire. And we've got our chain. Now I've got my other side of my chain. So what I'm going to do now is same thing. Now we just decide what size necklace we prefer. So I'm putting my ruler right at the bottom of where my split starts, which would be above this bead. Do you see this, guys, right here? So this bead, right, is where your split is. This portion is what's going to go around the neck. So this is where you would want to do your measuring, not from here at the top of the tassel. You want to do it from the top of the focal bead where the split begins. Make sense? So I'm putting my ruler right there at the top, right there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put my chain together here. And we are gonna go to 10.5. I'm gonna lay it right in between that and see that actually hangs really cool. And that inner strand then would hang, I'm measuring from the bottom of that chain, that inner strand would hang almost 20 inches, which is actually perfect. Don't even ask me how I got that because I literally picked up a random piece of chain and never mind, I cut all the tassels. So go figure. So that's what we've got. And as per usual, guys, I always, when I'm finishing off my necklaces, I always lay my chain flat. Now, they will twist in their natural way on the body, but when I'm finishing my necklace, I don't know, it's just what I do. I just think it looks nicer when you finish it with your chain flat. So that's what I'm doing here. A couple pairs of pliers. I already, by the way, added all 4 of my 6mm jump rings to make a little bit of extender there in case I wanted to do a dangle or give somebody the opportunity to adjust by like a 1/2 to an inch. And I will just open up those jump rings, and now I will feed each link of chain, the end of each chain, right on the jump ring there. And close that up. And then I will grab my lobster clasp and the other jump ring. And we're just about done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are inspired with this beautiful color palette in this gorgeous bag. And I will link the bags in the video for you guys. And if you're new, I hope you learned something new. And I hope I did a good enough job explaining it. Hey, babe. And everything else looks pretty good. This is really, really cool, guys. We're on trend, but yet very delicate almost. So pretty. So there we go, guys. I hope you can see. I have all that in camera. So there we go. What a cool necklace. I love it. I really think that is a beautiful, beautiful set. Well, it's a set with an anklet. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. And don't forget to give me a like. I appreciate your guys' comments. What do you guys even think, though? I would love to hear what you think about this. Do you like this color palette? Do you like the technique? Do you think it's a look? What do you guys think? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, friends, be blessed.